Yo, what up, family? Yes. Mike created another podcast, another one. Um, Now, this podcast is going to be about getting people their first deal. Now, it's actually inspired by Pace, my mentor. I over the last weekend, I was at a mastermind, and I got on a panel and asked him a question. At the end of it, he ended up saying, "Bro, you need to go create a podcast and help people out." So we are now here helping people out. And what we're calling this is Release the Chains podcast. Essentially, in my personal life and my business, I've had a bunch of things that I needed to release in order to let me go flourish and let me go succeed. Right. So I just feel like it's my duty to go pay it forward. And I want to help other people succeed, especially when it comes to real estate. Um, so today we have my homie Melo in the building.
What's going
Melo,
on?
I can tell one thing before Melo introduces himself. Um, Melo recently got into one of the mentorships I'm in, sub two, and he reaches out to me. He's like, "What's up, bro? I got a piece of land." I'm like, "Yo, who is this guy?" Like, I haven't seen him in the mentorship at all. I think he just got in, and he's already taken action. So that's one major thing I can tell you about Melo. He's a freaking action taker, and I can already see that. But without further ado, Melo, my man, what's going on, bro?
What's up, bro? Hope everything's good. Well, I know it is, but
Yes, sir. It's another blessed day here on Earth.
yeah.
So you want to tell the audience just about yourself, who you are, where you're from, exactly what you got going on right now, and all that.
So pretty much, I'm out here from Lowell, probably not too far from you, like 40, 45 minutes. I just joined Sub 2 like 2, 3 weeks ago, maybe. And I didn't know a thing before I joined. I figured like if I was to learn about real estate, I might as well just go and join the mentorship and pretty much try to cut everything I was gonna take me to learn on my own, cut that time in half or maybe even less than that. So that's what I did, and now I'm just out here trying to generate leads and trying to get my first deal right now.
Love that. So before this, you didn't have any background in real estate.
No, nothing.
Okay. What led you to wanting to do real estate?
Because honestly, I don't really want to work for anybody else no more. So I feel like real estate's the best thing to go and try to do your own thing.
Got it.
Well,
Where'd
not
you?
really like pretty much like obviously you might have to work for someone in the beginning, but the goal is to see the bigger picture, and just start investing, getting deals, stuff like that.
Hmm. Well, where did you get this idea from that real estate was the way to go?
Because I know like a couple realtors and stuff, but I knew I didn't want to be a realtor. I'm like, yeah, I was leaning more towards the investor side, and then I came across Pace's sub two. I'm like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. So I just joined that, and here I am now.
Okay, cool. So essentially, you were around some real estate people who were doing some deals, and you're like, damn, I see them working for themselves. They're doing pretty well. So you look this stuff up. You see on YouTube this freaking master named Pace, and you're like, I got to learn from this guy.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Okay. Before you realized any of that, were you doing anything like business wise, or were you working for somebody? Like,
I was a health aide.
okay. So what did that entail?
Pretty much just taking care of old people, bringing them to their appointments, like nothing really interesting.
Fairly boring.
Exactly.
Okay, this is really dope. How long did you do that for?
Like 2 years.
And as at the moment, did you just say, "Forget it. I'm going all in on real estate. I'm learning. I'm making this shit
Like
happen."
I was always interested in real estate, but I never took action. And then one day I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this. Like I'm gonna just go do what I really want to do.
Okay. All right, we're getting somewhere. All right, now, so what led you to say, "All right, I'm gonna take the leap of action. I'm out of here. Like I gotta learn this shit."
I don't know, something in my mind just told me like, yeah, bro, just go do it. If you don't do it now, you're never gonna do it. So why not now?
Well, yeah, bro. The reason why I ask is like a lot of people will just sit there and learn on YouTube,
Yeah.
right?
No,
Like,
that's what I did for like 2 weeks. But after that, like I just watched so many people and it was just confusing me. I'm like, I'm gonna just dial in on on one guy, get the mentorship and focus on that. Stop trying to research everybody else's stuff because you're never gonna get it that way.
holy crap. Like, bro, you're already light years ahead of where I was because I was that guy just learning on YouTube. Granted, I did buy a couple mentorships in the beginning too, but I was just learning from YouTube from a bunch of different people, learning a bunch of different strategies, not understanding where I should really hone my focus in.
Yeah, so that's what I was going by. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna do this forever. Like obviously a lot of people they give good information, but if you don't really understand it and they're just giving you free information, you never, in my mind, you're not gonna get to the bottom of it. I feel
Mhm.
like you join a community, whatever, like yeah, that's when you really get dialed in. So that's what I did.
Yeah, I mean, bro, so good that you already recognize that. And how old are you?
25.
Yeah, bro. Holy crap. Because there's people, even people that are my homies that I know, they're just stuck, like maybe learning a bunch of these random things and not honing in on one thing and taking action on it, right? And they think YouTube is the place to learn it. And they think that, hey, if I go learn from these people on YouTube, I'm just going to go take action and something's going to happen. I'm going to take action on a bunch of different things. But they do that and then nothing happens. There's a couple reasons. One reason is YouTube does not have, I don't want to say good information, but YouTube doesn't have the step by step actions that you really need to take.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like it tells you what to do, but it doesn't really give you step by step. Like
It tells you the thing, but it
yeah,
doesn't give you step by step.
it doesn't detail in as much as you want or as much as you think you need.
I wish I had a book. Essentially, what it is, it's like the freaking back part of the book,
Yeah,
right? That gives you a description of what the book's about, but it doesn't tell you exactly what's in the book, and it's not telling you the words, right? It's just giving you the description. It's more so for entertainment.
right.
So people go on YouTube. As far as the people that are on YouTube giving out their information, they'll go on there to grab people's attention. How do you grab people's attention? You be an entertainer. Now, the education part of it happens somewhere in the back end, and you got to pay for that, man.
Exactly. Nothing in life as much as you want it to be.
Right. And at the end of the day, here's a few good things that you're doing very, very well at. You're one, understanding that you need to be laser focused. Two, you understand that you need skin in the game. Those are like two major mindset blockers that people will have. People will have the first one, right? Um, I had that. I had the mindset where I was like, dude, I'm just gonna learn from all these guys on YouTube. I'm gonna learn from everybody. I'm gonna get this mentorship. I'm gonna get that mentorship. And I was just learning a bunch of different things and taking action on a bunch of different things, and nothing was sticking. It was like throwing something at the wall with nothing sticking.
Right.
And I had that, bro. That's why I didn't do it. I started my business in December 2020. I didn't do a deal until June 2021. And it just so happened to be that when I did that first deal, it was the first 3 weeks of me getting into a mentorship where I was just laser focused on talking to sellers.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to be Mike gets a deal. Like, ain't that funny?
Wow.
After spending a bunch of money on systems, bunch of money on mentorships, hours and hours on YouTube, finally I get in a freaking Zoom with Pace, and Pace says, bro, good news is you have some leads. The bad news is you don't know how to talk to those leads. Don't do anything else. Just go freaking get good at talking to the sellers. So what did I do? I just got good at talking to the sellers. Then I locked my first contract in like 3 weeks. So that's the first thing. And like I said, for me, that was a mindset blocker that I had to get off. And it wasn't even in sub two that in those first couple months I did it. It was like months and months of trying to do. Here's what happened. I get into sub two. I did get laser focus on talking to sellers, but at the same time, I still had a full fledged system. So I was laser focused on talking to sellers, but at the same time, I had systems in the background. I had lead generation and analytics and all these things that I was running myself, which was not allowing me to be laser focused on just talking to sellers. And that wasn't until months after that. So that was another mindset blocker that I had to get off of. Now the first one I had, like I just said, but it's a good thing that you are sort of past that already, which is freaking amazing. The second thing is skin in the game, right? Like you understand, hey, I have to pay to play.
No, of course.
I have to pay for this mentorship. I have to pay for somebody to hold my hand and teach me how to do this thing. I'm not going to learn it on YouTube. I have to pay to play. And the reason why it's so important is because you go spend a bunch of money on a mentorship, you gotta make sure that you freaking get that money back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you spend no money on YouTube and you just spend some time where maybe if you weren't gonna do that, you were just watching Netflix instead, you didn't lose anything.
Yeah.
In my eyes, you did. I'm looking at that like shit, you're losing time.
Yeah, time is money at the end of the day.
Yeah, bro, you're losing time. And I look at it like cringing. But some people look at it as if like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I can learn all this stuff on YouTube. If I utilize it, cool. If I don't, whatever. Now, when they come out of their pocket and pay some money for a mentorship, they're locked in and they lock in, learn the information, and take action.
Yeah.
Some of them don't get to that action point, but having to get in the game is one of those things that's going to push you forward. So, what was that like for you? Like when you were thinking about it, were you ever hesitant? Were you like, is this going to work? Like,
No, I pretty much like train my mind like I have to make it work no matter what. So it's either this or nothing. So it has to work.
got it. So, how long have you been learning real estate?
Since I joined like 2 weeks before, I would say right now probably like a solid month.
Holy crap. Okay. So, as you like have been learning all these things, right?
Yeah.
What do you think at the moment if you just sat there and thought to yourself, okay, I have a little bit under my belt for knowledge. What is preventing me at this moment from getting a deal? What do you think that is?
Honestly, right now, like my biggest thing is lead generation. Like obviously it's good. Like I know how to pull lists and stuff, but I don't know what in my mind, what would be a good list technically. Like I haven't ran it by nobody. Like I pulled like two lists. I haven't got like good, that much feedback. I got one pre foreclosure. I literally just got off the phone with them. This was from an SMS. I just got off the phone with them 2 minutes before I joined this for you, but ends up not really being a good deal because um, they refinanced. The mother passed away. They refinanced, so there's no equity in the deal, and there's one sibling, one sister that refuses to sign like any type of agreement because her husband's fix and flipper himself. He wants just the property to go to auction, and they think they're gonna buy it at auction.
Want me to call him?
Yeah, well, she told me she's like, you can have my sister's number. Like the lady that I talked to, she wants to sell the house, but her sister's the one that's kind of not willing to budge and nothing. But she's like, I'll give you my sister's number, but I wouldn't know how to talk to the sister. So I'm like, I'll see what information I could get, and we could go from there.
Let's call him. In the chat, if you see the chat to the right,
Yeah.
give me the sister's information, the one that you were talking to, and the other sister's information, the one that I'm going to call.
I honestly didn't get the other sister's information. I'm like, I'll
Oh,
see.
you didn't?
No, I didn't, because I didn't think it'll be a deal. If they still owe, it's only worth, when I comped, it's worth like around probably 470 or something like that.
Mhm.
And right now they still owe 300 on it.
Okay.
Well, ARV is around 470, but as is right now, it's only worth like 370.
Okay. So after repair value is 470,000.
Yeah.
They owe 300.
She says they owe 300, but on PropStream it shows that they owe like 360.
Okay, well let's just call it 300. Maybe prop stream's wrong.
Yeah,
And the property's worth 470.
yeah.
Why would it be going to auction?
Because the mother actually passed away, and it's in pre foreclosure right now. It was a pre foreclosure SMS that I did.
Okay. So the mother passed away.
Yep.
Um, they weren't paying the bills at all.
No, and they have a squatter in there, a brother.
Crap. Okay. So there's a brother in there who's a squatter. Um, Obviously, he's not paying any bills.
Yeah,
The mother passed away. She wasn't paying the bills as she was leaving. And at the moment, there's nobody that's paying the mortgage. Like, not the sister, no nothing. They're not.
exactly.
Okay, let's call her. Here's the thing, like if they only owe 300 and the property's worth 470, there's a lot of equity there.
Yeah,
So like it could definitely be a deal. But for them to say, "Hey, I'm going to wait for this thing to go to auction." I mean, yeah, that's cool, but the thing goes to auction, who the heck says that you're going to get the property?
that's my point.
And matter of fact, when it does go to auction, with all the people bidding on it, you're not going to want to buy the property with the way the market is right now.
Yep. So you think I should get the sister's info, or I could give you the number to the lady. I'll just text her and say that my partner's gonna call later tomorrow or something.
No, let's call it right now.
All right. Let's see.
Shoot
If I
her.
the I'm on my phone right now. If I close the internet browser, would I still be on here, or would it shut down?
Um, Good question. Try it out.
All right. Let's see. You still hear me?
I can still hear you. It's a
All right.
black screen
Perfect.
though.
Perfect.
Yeah, if you just want to text me her name and the address.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Oh, it's texted over to you?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. She's at work right now, but she might still pick up.
So you got this lead from a text blast?
Exactly.
Nice, bro. See, freaking Melo takes action.
I try.
The first month in, already banging leads.
How do I do this info? Share contact.
So how
And
did you learn? Go ahead. What'd you say?
oh, nothing. I was just seeing to send you the address too, right?
Yep. So how did you learn how to do lead generation? Because obviously you're generating leads.
Honestly, I learned that on YouTube. I like obviously in the course it doesn't show you like how to pull lists and stuff. So that's why I said like that's something I actually learned off YouTube. So I don't know if I'm even doing it right in the first place. So that was just a pre foreclosure list. Like that's given. Like obviously this they might have some type of pain or motivation. So that's why I did that. But as far as like absentee and all that stuff, like I wouldn't know if I'm pulling a list enough, like a good enough list, or just wasting my money.
Cool. Lucy, right?
Luis. But she said like 11:30 is the best time to call. That's like when she goes on her lunch break. She probably won't pick up when she. but she does. Let's see what she says.
Okay. So here's the thing. The mother passes away. Have you checked the deed? The
No,
mother.
I have not. Today was the first time I spoke to her.
Okay, so let's just say that the mother passed away and she was the only one on the deed and she has the mortgage,
Yeah.
right? And nobody has assumed the mortgage. So her mother passes away. Obviously, the mortgage stops being performed on. The bank wants the house back. Usually, what happens if the person obviously didn't pass away, and let's just say they lost their job or something, and they went through foreclosure, their credit would be trashed,
Yeah.
right? And they would be kind of screwed for a long time in the future. Now, she passed away. I mean, God bless her soul, but her credit doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
So, with this being said, let's think about this. She owes 300. Property's worth 470. The bank is going to take it. The brother is going to get kicked out of the house.
Yeah.
It's going to happen regardless if somebody buys it or not because
Yeah.
he's not paying. And the other sister thinks that they're going to buy it.
Yeah.
Think about the process.
Exactly.
It's going to go through foreclosure. It's going to go to auction. Now, everybody and their mother are able to bid on it. They're probably not going to end up with the house. The likelihood of them ending up with a house is very slim.
Yeah.
Now, with this being said, since this thing doesn't affect anybody's credit, just having the brother stay in there until the bank takes it away sometimes is the best bet. Because think about it. I actually just had this happen. We had a lead down in Springfield. Now, it's kind of this similar situation. Father passes away, leaves the house to the mother. Mother passes away, leaves the house to the daughter. The daughter ends up trying to assume the mortgage. So assuming the mortgage means they go to the mortgage company and they say, hey, let me take over this mortgage. Let me put my name on it. Let me have it affect my credit and all that. Okay.
Yeah.
So she was trying to go through that process, but never got there. So she never got through that process. And then she kind of just sat on it. The bank, she quote unquote said the bank wasn't taking care of her. The bank wasn't, telling her exactly what to do. So she ends up not moving forward with the assumption of the mortgage. So the mortgage is still in her deceased mother's name. Now she comes to me and she's like, hey, I mean, how can you help me here? I'm like, well, we can take the property over subject to, which means we take over the property. We start paying the mortgage on you guys' behalf. And now you guys don't go through a foreclosure. But I'm looking at it like, hey, let's really think about this here. The only thing you're gonna get from us if we go through that process is like $5,000. Anything above that would have killed the deal for us.
Yeah.
So is it worth you to go through the process with us for $5,000 of she had to do a couple steps. She had to go get a loan modification first off, she had to assume the mortgage and had to get a loan modification. And then there's a period in time where the note has to be performed on for a little bit until it's solidified. And then we could buy it over subject to. So I'm like, okay, let's think about this. Is that worth going through for $5,000? Or should the bank just take this thing over? Because at the end of the day, if the bank takes it over, God bless your mother, but she's passed away. Her credit isn't going to do her much. You know what I mean? So it kind of seems like that could be the same type of situation here. I don't want to call it that because I want to get on the phone with her and ask more questions.
Yeah.
But with that being said, maybe with all that equity now in that particular deal, there wasn't that much equity. But maybe where there's a lot of equity here, we're able to get them a decent chunk of change. And we'll be like, okay, well, so let's think about this. This thing's going to go to the auction, right? What are the odds of you getting this property at the auction? Have you done an auction before? Uh, uh, no. Well, yeah, like everybody and their mother's gonna bid on it. I mean, I stopped going to the auctions because I can't get deals anymore. I'm just saying, I don't see. I mean, I don't see how you taking this thing to auction is going to give you the best opportunity to make some money on this thing. What if somebody just came in and gave you 20 grand and solved all the problems without you having to go to the auction, without you having to go get a loan for the house, like a hard money loan, without you having to manage contractors or everything? Like, let's think about it. If you go that route, what are you going to make? 50 grand?
And then it's gonna take
And
you months or probably even longer.
yeah, and that's not even guaranteed. It's actually very unlikely that you're even going to get that. Why don't
Yeah,
you just guarantee yourself 20 grand?
they're just gambling right now.
Right. So that's the way to go about it. But if the numbers are true, if the numbers really are 470, 300, it doesn't need that much work, then we're going to be able to do something there with it.
Yeah,
Right. Like,
a lot of
there's,
that's the thing too. Like I'll show you all the notes and stuff after. Like I'll send you a picture of all the notes I took and stuff.
okay, cool. All right. See, look at this shit. Melo already has a freaking lead that we're working on. I'm going into this podcast like, all right, let's see how we get Melo started. This boy's already producing leads. That's freaking great. So from here, now that you're producing leads, where do you think, like, where do you need to go to get a deal? How do you think you're going to get your first deal?
I think I just need to reach more people. And that, like, with that being said, like, I just right now I'm only working on foreclosure, so I want to find like another niche list that I could attack. Well, not attack, but like reach out to. And right now I've mostly just been doing SMS, and then I'll like I haven't been reaching that many people, and I'll just look through like stuff that I think would hit, and I'll just look through all of them, and I'll try to see the pictures, and then if I like it, I'll cold call it. But I'm not just cold calling a whole list right now.
Mm-hmm.
So once I feel like I find something that got good value, I would eventually just hire a cold caller, pull like a 5,000 record list, and have them call it like 2 or 3 times over and see what I could pull out of it.
Okay, cool. So how have you been feeling on your conversations, like when you're talking to these sellers on the phone?
Like obviously, I need to get better. Like I try to go to the daily dial every day, but sometimes like I'll be scared to raise my hand sometimes. So I'll wait like a little bit, and by the time I raise my hand, it'll be over before they get to me. So I just started gotta like take more action in that. Get in.
You're like, woof, thank God.
Yeah, because there'd be so many people like listening and stuff. It just makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, bro, I get it. Like I used to have the same thing. Once you start getting on the camera a little bit more, it is what it is. Like especially in front of people in Zooms, you
Yeah,
start that, and like you'll get over that. It just takes the leap of faith to go do it. But I mean, once you do that, even just that alone is going to give you a ton of confidence. Like you're going to get a ton of confidence just from the leap of faith jumping into a Zoom and talking in front of how many people on the nightly dial? I mean, the daily dial, like 50 or something.
yeah. Sometimes even 100.
100. Yeah, like think about that. Once you do that, that's going to give you some serious confidence. Now, think about you doing a role play on there. For everybody that might not know what the daily dial is, it's a Zoom every single morning within our mentorship that Pace runs. Caroline is actually the one who runs one, I think both of them, both of the Zooms every single morning.
Yeah,
She's the best. Now, what it is it's pretty much everybody goes on there and role plays. Somebody pretends to be a buyer, somebody pretends to be a seller, and then everybody gives their feedback. Leaders in the group will give feedback on what they would have done on the call and what they did good at. And that's essentially what it is. Now, think about that. If you put yourself in a position where all the eyeballs are on you and you have a conversation, all it takes is one time, bro. It takes one time to get on there, have the conversation, and then everybody's giving you feedback, and you're like, whew. That wasn't that bad. Okay. I want to do this tomorrow. Then you're going to go do it tomorrow. And then you're going to start like understanding, wait, oh crap, people are giving me good feedback. Like they're telling me I had a good call. Yo, I'm getting pretty freaking good at this shit.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you want, bro. That's what sales is. Sales is getting confident as shit.
No, for sure.
But you utilizing the daily dial, not so much. It is definitely so much of learning techniques, but it's taking the leap of faith and freaking making you take action and getting out of your shell. Once you do that, that explodes your confidence, and then that makes your sales go through the roof.
Yeah. So that's like the main two things I'm trying to work on right now: lead generation and actually talking to sellers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it sounds like you have a decent pulse on the lead gen. Going forward, once you start really cranking and you go get a VA and you start making some money, you're probably going to want to bring on a partner to run all that.
Yeah.
And at this point, you're going to be pretty good at talking to sellers. So your partner, who's probably going to be a nerd at lead gen, is going to come in, generate a bunch of leads for you, and you're just going to come in and be the closer.
Yeah.
But think about that. Once you do that, once you get to that point, in order to attract a really good partner who's really good at generating leads, you have to be really good at talking to sellers.
Exactly. That's why I'm trying to practice every day.
Mm-hmm. And what I see a lot of people do, a lot of people will be like, they just get in and they're like, oh my God, I need leads. Somebody be my integrator. Somebody be my business partner. Bring me leads. But they don't even know how to talk to sellers.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to take baby steps right now. So, what the hell happened? Happened to my dog Mike, man.
Sorry about that, bro.
No, you're good. I'm gonna run and grab a charger. I can stay on. I'm on my phone though. I don't want my phone to die.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It happened earlier while I was on a Zoom. The Wi-Fi in here is cutting out. Maybe it's because it's raining or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But essentially, bro, once you get to that point where we'll let him get situated. But guys, what I'm trying to say is once
I
you
know
get
it cut off. It cut
no,
off
you're
for a
good, bro.
second. So
You're
yeah,
good.
what was? I had to walk
So
up the stairs. So I don't. If I got in the elevator, I would have lost service for real.
hey man, you need some cardio.
But yeah, where was we at?
So once you get to the point where you're actually getting really good at talking to sellers, you're going to attract somebody who is a person who can really do lead gen at a high level. And then once that happens, you guys freaking date for a couple months and get married.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's essentially what happens. But I see a lot of people think about it from their perspective, from a point where they're like, hey, what do I need? I need somebody to generate me leads because I don't want to do the lead gen, rather than thinking from a perspective of, hey, how do I pour value on some badass integrator? Like, how do I take some badass integrator by the shoulder and be like, bro, Generate me these freaking leads. I'm gonna be your killer.
So that I can't even talk right now. I need a water. I'm on a Zoom right now. My bad about that, bro. I didn't know how long you was gonna be off the camera. I'm like, let me go get this charger before my
Nah,
phone.
you're good, bro. I get it. So, did you hear basically what I just said?
That I need to pretty much build value so an integrator could come to me.
100 freaking percent. Yes. If that's the mindset that you go into it as if, like, hey, let me go into a relationship where I am freaking pouring value on somebody. It would be like a regular relationship with a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you think you're going to get the best freaking girlfriend from? Are you going to get the best girlfriend from thinking, okay, hey, I need some, you know what?
Yeah. You gotta bring something to the table.
Right? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna want to be like, no, 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 no. Yo, I want to change some freaking chick's life. Like, I want whatever chick that I go run into to look at me like, yo, hold on, this freaking cat is gonna change my life. He's not one guy, he's not some guy that just wants some, you know what, right?
Exactly.
Like he's a guy that wants to legit build a freaking crazy life with me that is gonna hold my hand through the whole process of this thing called life and prosper. Like he's gonna bring me there. That's how an integrator thinks.
Yeah. So integrator is pretty much someone that's gonna do all the stuff that besides talking to sellers, and they just generate leads and help you with what else essentially.
Let me call my partner.
All right.
Hey, what's up?
Yo, what up, bro?
About to do a kettlebell workout.
You're
Yeah.
you're a badass. Hey, so you're on a podcast right now.
Oh, sweet.
Question for you. What is it exactly that you do in our business?
So I am, I guess if you were to go with the visionary versus integrator, I'm the integrator side of the equation. So I spend my time maintaining all the systems, interacting with PAs as questions come up during the day. Checking to see if everyone's being honest. Well, one thing we've noticed is that you have to make sure that you watch that your system is performing the way that you want it to. It's not just the technology itself, but it's in addition to that the actual process. Right? There is an honor system, of course, when you implement something, but it's another thing to be able to track the execution.
Okay, let's try this again. Sorry, this internet is going freaking bananas up here.
Yeah, I was gonna say something.
So, Andrew, you want to finish what you were saying?
Sure. Yeah. So to sum it all up, it's one thing to have a set of systems. It's another thing to be able to track and improve.
Yeah.
It's another thing to be able to look at your process and say, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? how do we use what we've done so far to improve going forward? And a big part of that is, as you start to get a lot of leads into your pipeline, as you start to close deals, you'll start to notice commonalities. And it's in your best interest to pursue those commonalities because that's just, increasing your likelihood of closing deals in a more predictable manner. Doing it in a more predictable manner means that revenue is more predictable. If revenue is more predictable, then you can plan to expand your business faster. So it's all kind of a vicious cycle. And if you don't pay attention to it, it can limit your growth and the time frame in which you do it.
Mm-hmm. So essentially what Andrew does is he looks at everything that I am doing, the team is doing, and making sure that everything's running at a well-oiled machine pace.
Right, and in line with our growth, right? Because we have ambitious growth goals.
Yep, and in line with our goals. Like Andrew actually, he'll stop me sometimes because I have a crazy amount of ideas. I'm like, hey, bro, we should do this, do that, do that. And he's like, bro, is that really the best use of our time? I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, you're right. So he checks me on a lot of things.
And it's not that it's never that the ideas are bad. It's is that the right thing to do today? If you're pursuing an aggressive growth plan, you want to maximize time to revenue. So when I say maybe the wrong way to phrase that, what I'd like to say to Mike over and over again is your time is worth $1,000 an hour to me. If you're not on a task that's worth $1,000 an hour, stop doing that task. We'll find another way to do it, or we'll do it later. Right? Prioritize the tasks that make the money.
Love it. Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. I'll hit you up in a little bit.
All right. Bye.
All right. Peace. Actually, did you have any questions for him?
Well, no. Where did you find him at? That was a question I have for you.
Did you have any questions, though? Because I can call him back.
No. He sounded like he explained it very detailed. Like he left you with no question.
So for him, he actually got referred to me from somebody named Suzanne in Sub 2, which I think you know Suzanne by now.
Yeah, I'm Sharky.
Yeah, she ended up, Andrew got in the mentorship and they got in contact. Suzanne was like, yo, you need to go reach out to Mike. He lives right down the street from you. So Andrew hits me up. He's like, bro, let's go to coffee. I'm like, all right, cool. Go to coffee. And within like 10 minutes, I was like, yo, this guy is my integrator.
That's smooth.
Yeah, it was, I put it out in the universe, bro, and it came. It was right after the mastermind, which like one of the light bulbs that clicked on in my head was, bro, go find a freaking killer integrator.
How long have you guys been together?
Probably like 4 or 5 months now.
Okay.
Yeah, around the beginning of the year. So, yeah, man. I mean, what do you have for questions at the moment? Like, what's a game plan for you, do you think?
Pretty much right now, like I wake up every day, get on the daily dial, get off the daily dial. I try to watch you told me to watch the sales training. I've been watching the sales training. And then from there, I'll look, see, like every day I try to pull a list, but it just never happens. So I just keep going through all like the pre-foreclosures. I'll text like every county. I'll send them all out. And then from there, I pretty much don't know what else to do. So that's all I've been doing really pretty much.
Okay, when you said you're pulling lists and nothing's happening, what do you mean?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
I just got a call and I swiped it up to like ignore, but I couldn't hear you, so I just had to hang it up.
Oh, no worries. So when you said you're pulling lists and nothing's happening, what do you mean?
Like I want to, I don't have the confidence in pulling it. Like I don't know if I'm gonna waste my money on it or not. Like that's pretty much what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. So you just need a good list.
Yeah, that's my thing. I need a good.
Get you some data.
Yeah, if you could do that, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're 100%. We have a shit ton of data.
Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. And then if I get a big enough list, I'll call like an hour or two just to get reps in. But I'm eventually just gonna. But what would you recommend? Like start virtual or where to get a cold caller?
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things from Start Virtual.
But I would still have to like not train them because they come like a little trained, but I would have to like meet with them and all that stuff too, right?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of where you get your virtual assistants from, or even just a regular freaking employee,
Yeah,
like if you were in a landscaping business, like whatever business you're in, you're gonna want to spend time and train your employees.
of
So whether
course.
they're a virtual assistant who is being brought to you from a big agency where they give you the sales pitch, or oh, you don't really have to do anything. We'll just generate you the leads from our virtual assistant, right? Like you're gonna want to have these people close to you on your team. You know what I mean? Because you want to build a culture.
So that's another question I have. Should I even hire one if I'm not even good at talking to sellers now?
So it depends on what you have for money and what your risk tolerance is. Because at the end of the day, if you know how to generate leads, you already know a freaking ton of closers. So very worst case scenario, you just send it to a closer and you guys JV.
No, of course. Yeah, that's what I plan on doing. But I'm saying in the cold calling sense, do I have to send them a script? Like, what do I have to do to get started with a VA?
Oh, to get started with Start Virtual?
Yeah, like what would I have to do to keep up with the cold caller?
I'm not sure exactly what Start Virtual's process looks like. I haven't used them, but like I said, I've only heard good things from them.
Yeah.
But for us, when somebody is onboarded, they do get a script.
Okay.
They get a script that we go by. Our script is laid out more like a structure than an actual just like bullet point script
Yeah.
because we don't want these VAs to sound like robots because then we just get people hanging up on us, right?
Yeah.
So we do give them a script to abide by, and there's the 4 pillars that they need, right? They're getting the motivation, price, timeline, condition. Condition being like the least important out of all. They
Yeah.
get that, and then what happens from there is it gets submitted to our lead manager. She then analyzes the lead and has a more in-depth conversation. And if it's a hot lead that can be closed within the next like 30, 60 days, it's pushed up to our acquisitions team. Or if it's a lead that they're like, yeah, I'm probably selling in like 8 months after my son graduates or something like that, whatever, a prospective lead. She puts them in her follow-up. So then she'll follow up with that lead every few months or something, depending on the situation. So what happens from there is once a lead is kicked up to acquisitions, the acquisitions department has a completely different conversation than the other 2 levels. Like all the levels are different types of conversations.
Yeah.
Because the first conversation from the cold caller is just a very simple conversation.
Are you interested?
Yep.
Much,
Are you interested in selling your house? Why would you ever sell this thing? Okay, how much do you want? Got it. When are you looking to sell it? Boom.
quick.
Lead, bada bing, bada boom. Right. And then lead manager gets on the phone. And if she senses that this is a lead that can be converted in the next 30, 60 days, it just goes to acquisitions. And acquisitions, we go through our Sandler model. So that's the book, or You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. That's what the book is called.
Yeah.
And we utilize that structure and that model in our sales process.
In acquisitions, right? Once it reaches to acquisitions.
Yep.
Okay.
So when you're just cold calling yourself, like for me, you're not cold calling yourself, right?
No, I'm just doing texting.
Okay. And then what happens from there? Once a person says that they're interested in selling, what happens?
That's when I get on the phone.
Okay. So that would essentially,
It will
still
still
be-
be a cold call, but I'm just not listening to everyone say no. I'm only talking to the people who might be interested.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, for you, bring them through your sales process. Just figure out what's going on with the lead from what you know as of sales right now. Bring them through that process, and then once you really have one on the hook, and you're like, all right, this is one that I think is going to be converted. Find a closer to help you out. Whether it's me, whether it's somebody like my boy Daryl, whoever it is.
I gotta show respect and bring you the first one, man.
I got you, bro. Yeah, and then have them help you close it. And make sure, well, even if you do send it to me, I'll make sure that you'll be able to hear the call.
Yeah.
Because you understand what somebody was saying and how that lead was converted, because that's like one of the most important things. But to wrap it all up, definitely keep what you're doing as far as learning how to talk to sellers. Stay in the daily dial consistently. Be active, like really truly raise your hand. You know what? I'm gonna ask Caroline if you have been raising your hand.
Yeah. Someone in there yesterday was telling me to reach out to you too, and I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to get on there with him tomorrow.
Bro, I'm gonna reach out to Caroline next week and I'm gonna be like, yo, how many times has Melo raised his hand?
Yeah. I'm gonna get in there early.
Um, yeah, so keep getting that daily dial, raise your hand, be active. That essentially is what this podcast is about, releasing the chains. That is essentially your chains. Your chains right now is going on the daily dial and actually not being afraid and just taking the leap of faith
Yeah.
and building the confidence. That's really what it is. Because
Yeah. That's my priority right now, to be honest. And then after I get comfortable, that's when I'll get more in depth to like trying to get a list and all that.
yeah, bro. Once you get comfortable, you're gonna start seeing the close, is what I call it. Like you're gonna get confident, and then you're gonna be able to see a lead, and you're gonna be like, all right, I know exactly how to close this thing. For a perfect example, that lead that you just brought, like as I was talking about it, like, oh, okay, so listen, I mean, you could do that, but I mean, you're not even guaranteed to get the property. What if somebody came in and just guaranteed you some money? And you'll see that close. You'll see it like, oh, exactly. I know exactly what to say in these situations after you get really confident.
Perfect.
Yeah, bro, just keep getting really good at sales. If you have the money to do it, keep generating leads. Why not? I'm not here to tell somebody not to do that. There's some people that are like, yeah, no, don't do that. You're gonna waste your leads, bro. You have a whole community behind you. If you know how to generate leads and you're generating them in an efficient way, then do it. Now, with that being said, as soon as possible, you're going to want to get a virtual assistant on that job.
Yeah.
Because you sitting there clicking the button, texting every day, you're already at this point where your time is worth more than sitting there clicking a button.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you need to be doing the more high level activities. But for now, just keep taking action. And then you're going to get a deal. You're going to use that money to go get a virtual assistant. They're going to start generating the leads for you. Then from there, boom, you're off to the races. Now you're doing what Andrew was just talking about, the more high level things during your day that we call like $1,000 an hour activities.
Yeah.
You know, like sitting there clicking a button is not really $1,000.
No, of course.
But bro, you got to start somewhere. So 100%, keep rocking, keep doing your thing. And then once you're ready financially, if not already, go get the freaking virtual assistant.
Yeah, if you can help me pull that list too, I appreciate it. We'll pull any list that might have value in it.
Yeah, for sure. I might even have a loom on how to pull a list. I'll have to look it up. Andrew probably has put how to pull a list in our loom section, like our recording looms.
Oh yeah, if you have that, send it over. Either text it to me or email it to me.
Mm-hmm. So what? You're having trouble pulling a list on like batch leads or prop stream?
Yeah, well, like obviously I could pull a list. I just don't know if it's gonna have value or not. Like that's what I'm saying. I just don't want to waste the money and then not get nothing out of it. Obviously,
Okay.
I'm gonna have to have someone call it a couple times, but I just don't know if it's gonna be a waste or there's value.
Bro, forget even looking at one of Andrew's videos on how to pull a list. You can find this shit on YouTube. This is something that people put on YouTube, like how to pull a list.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: every single list, whether it's a vacant list, freaking tax lien list, pre foreclosure list, all these lists, they all have deals. Every single one. You just have to take action and call them. Every single one of these types of lists has deals in them. You just have to go hunt. So if it's a sense of like how to actually pull the list, like the step-by-step process and how to filter everything out, you can learn that on YouTube 100%.
Yeah, like that I know how to do. I just don't know if it's gonna have value or not.
It will.
It's
It
just
will.
example, right? Pretty much.
Go on. I bet Brent Daniels or Jamil, they probably have a video on the top 5 lists to pull.
Yeah.
And go pick one of those lists and go pull it.
Like I see stuff like that, but I just don't know if it's real or not. You know.
Yeah. Yes, it's real. They're all real. All the lists are real. Like there's deals and leads in every single one of those lists.
Gotcha.
It's up to us as the investor to go extract the value out of those lists. But a lot of people will ask, like, hey, what is like the perfect list? There is none. They're all good. There's deals in all of them.
Perfect. All right, that sounds good then. You made me feel a little more at ease.
Yes, sir. I mean, so what are your plans from here?
Right now, just keep doing what I'm doing, and then pretty much just actually take action, pull a list, hire a VA, and try to get leads in the pipeline, and then send them over to a closer that can help me close them.
Yes. Let's get Melo his first freaking deal. 30 days minimum. I mean, max.
Let's see. What's today?
19th.
19th. Hopefully by the 19th of June.
June 19th. You'll get it, bro.
Hopefully. I appreciate you having me on here too.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you coming on here. I can't wait to see your growth. I know that you're a freaking action taker. I can already see it in you. Literally, you already have brought me 2 leads. And you've known about real estate for a month. I knew about real estate in like, let me think about this. I think it was 2017. I went to my first real estate like class. It was a seminar type of thing. Probably even 2016. And it planted a seed in my mind, like, oh wait, people are making money wholesaling. Like, what the heck is wholesaling? What the heck is fix and flip? Like, what are all these things? Go to a 2-hour event. They sell you on going to a weekend event. I went to the weekend event, paid like, it was only like $100. After that, I just knew about it. I mean, I would listen to things like Bigger Pockets and some YouTube things over the course of like 3 or 4 years. But I knew about it. I just never took any action. I would drive for dollars like maybe once a month for an hour, like every other month or something like that in that time period.
Yeah.
And then finally, I'm just like, screw it. I just got to take action. And I went full-fledged.
Yeah, that's the thing with me. Like when I hear about something and I know like it interests me and I know you can make money on it, like I can't wait. I feel like I just got to jump in. Like I'm already missing opportunities the longer I wait.
Bro, that's so good. So good. You're going to crush it.
Hope so.
All right, brother.
All right, bro. Yeah, so if I have any other questions, I'll text you. You can answer whenever you got free time or whatever.
For sure.
All right. Thank you.
Peace.